Have you ever asked yourself, is this the life I want to be living? Or is this just the life that I ended up with? I wanted to do all the things that I wish I had done when I was younger. When someone says, who are you? You're like, why do I want to run straight towards the flames? You have more control over your life than you think. If you are somebody who is ready to step into the next version of themselves, who is done holding themselves back, who is ready to finally step into their power, start using your voice and standing up for yourself and stop living on autopilot, that is truly who this podcast is for. Welcome. This is actually just episode 1 of Creator by Design, and I'm really excited to be back. If you are a returning listener, this was previously called The Passion Project, or if you followed me from one of my many various pursuits online, many types of content I have tried, welcome back. I'm very excited to have you here, and I'm very excited to jump back into this new era. Now, I thought it made the most sense for this first episode to be a lot of reintroduction, I want to share my story with you guys, the journey that I've gone on over the past 5 years, TikTok fame, YouTube fame, creativity, coaching, business, a lot of different things have happened, and I want to reintroduce myself. But while I'm talking throughout today's episode, I want to encourage you to be reflecting on your own journey, because at the end of the episode, I'm going to give you a call to action, something for you to actually do after you finish listening to me yap. So let's get into it. I want to take you all the way back to December of 2019. I was in college. I was getting my degree in marketing and graphic design. And I decided to sign up for a public speaking competition. Now, let me preface that by saying I was very shy. I was very reserved, terrified of public speaking. Terrified of being put on the spot, let alone an impromptu speaking competition where you only have 30 minutes to prepare your speech that is 5 minutes long. To me, that sounded like a death sentence at the time. But for whatever reason, I decided to go for it because YOLO. And I show up for this public speaking competition and they hand me the prompt. And the prompt says, what is your personal mission statement? I had 30 minutes to prepare a speech. And what I came up with was the following. I'm blanking on it. I want to live my life with intention and inspire others to do the same. That was the premise of my speech. And it just came to me. I had 30 minutes. I was like, okay, this makes sense. This feels aligned. And I said it very confidently very confidently. Sorry, I'm just getting used to podcasting again. I said that very confidently. And I actually ended up winning the competition. But then I started thinking, when I rewatched the video, I'm like, am I living intentionally? The answer was no. I was not living intentionally. So I decided I wanted to start doing that, but I really didn't know what that looked like. The only thing I knew was that I didn't want a corporate job. So I started freelancing, doing graphic design work. And that was when I started my business, Helly Media and Design. I was like, you know what? We're just going to go for it. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. I didn't have a path. I just decided I was going to be bold and start doing stuff. I'm just going to start doing stuff. And so that mindset was what led me to, 1, start my business, and 2, take the opportunity that got me 1 million followers. Because the old Hallie would have never taken that opportunity. The old Hallie would have been too shy, felt it was too cringe to make the videos I was making back then that gained me 1 million followers in 6 months. So when I got to that point, 6 months later, that brings us to 2021, I had 1 million followers and I realized, you know what? Okay, I guess I can make money online making silly videos, like the childhood dream. And so I went all in on the influencer life. I went all in on what was working. This content, I didn't necessarily mean to go viral, but it was working. And I knew how to make it keep working. So I kept making it work. And eventually, this led me to a place about 2022 where I'm like, something feels off. I have this life that looks so cool. I moved to Florida. I'm working with clients on their social media. I'm doing brand deals with big brands. I get recognized in public. People ask to take pictures with me. I'm experiencing a level of fame, but something always felt off. And I didn't know what it was. And so I started to ask myself, what does fulfillment mean? Like, am I being intentional? Like, what do I really want to be doing? And I started to feel a pull towards authenticity. I wanted to do something that felt more authentic. And that's what led me to start the first version of this podcast, The Passion Project, which was this channel used to be called The Passion Project. And V1 of this podcast was The Passion Project. Here we are now, Creator by Design. V2, The Evolution. So once I started that podcast, that's when I really realized, maybe I haven't been so intentional. Like, I set out to figure out what intention was, what an intentional life looked like. And somewhere along the way, I got pulled back in to living for other people. And I think that's the biggest misconception. I think that's the biggest thing that we don't realize. We think that if we remove the boss, if we go out and start our own business or go be a creator, go do the thing we always wanted to do, that our life will magically change. But if we haven't changed our mindset, it won't change. Those internal ways of thinking, those automatic programmings in your head, your subconscious mind, is what's driving you. And so you will find yourself exactly where you were with that quote unquote boss who you blamed for your life sucking. Doesn't have to be a boss, could be the algorithm, whatever it is for you. You have more control over your life than you think. And that's exactly what happened to me. I said, I don't want a corporate job. I don't want, to go do any of that typical, I didn't want a typical path. But then here I was 2 years down the line, completely off on my own, but I had still found a way to put myself in a box of doing what I thought everybody else wanted me to do. I created my own box, essentially. And so I realized at that point what I needed to do was tap back into my creativity. I needed to figure out what I wanted to create because I didn't know. I remember I would ask my audience, I'm like, hey, what do you guys want from me? And they're like, I don't know. What do you want to create? We want to see what you want to create. And I'm like, well, I don't know what that is. So that led me to start a Comfort Zone Challenge series, which some of you may have seen. There's a couple of them on this channel where I wanted to try things that scared me. I wanted to do all the things that I wish I had done when I was younger, that I never tried because I was too scared, or I quit a long time ago and I, never came back to it. So that set me out on a journey to tap back into my creativity. I trained with professional dancers. I trained for a Spartan race in 30 days. I tried Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I took improv comedy classes. And then finally, I took on a singing challenge. A challenge to get over my fear of singing in front of other people. When I hit that singing challenge, I knew I had unlocked something because suddenly I started to have this knowing for what I wanted to do. Despite the fact that singing was the scariest thing I had done yet, singing in front of people, I was freaking terrified. Despite that, I wanted to run straight towards it. I'm like, why do I want to run straight towards the flames? But it was because on the other side of those flames was everything that I was looking for. It was as if that was the barrier, those flames that I'm running straight towards, analogy to singing in front of people. Getting past that, on the other side of that was everything that I wanted to do, that I wanted to discover and uncover about myself. And so I realized that I had this deep passion to sing, to get into acting. That's kind of my current thing that I'm focused on is acting and, building that type of career. And I would have never figured that out had I not faced head on that fear. I think sometimes, yes, fear can be something that protects us from danger, but also it can stop us from living the life we want to live. So I would encourage you to question your fear. Question it. Don't just let it drive your life. So as I reflect high level on my journey over the past 5 years that I've just shared with you, it was a journey of discovering how to live an intentional life. And I think that's why I feel so drawn to relaunch this podcast and share a lot of the things that I learned, because I think a lot of people now are realizing, what does it truly mean to live a fulfilling life? And I believe that comes from living intentionally. A fulfilling life comes from living on purpose, using your voice, being who you truly were created as, who you are at the core, and building your life in a way that's not conditioned by someone else, but instead is chosen by you. And the truth is that living in this way will not only, I've talked about a lot of professional milestones, but it not only will help you in your career, in a business, with content and creativity, but also in your life, in your relationships, with your family, with your friends, with your partner, who you choose to be with, the people you choose to spend your time around. Everything is more aligned the more intentional you are. So let's get into the CTA, because if we just passively listen to podcasts such as this, we aren't going to actually see changes in our lives, and we are just going to fill our brain with more information. Change comes from doing and implementing the things that you learn. So here's the exercise. I call it the Life Timeline exercise. I first learned it from one of my business coaches, Annie Pecci, and it was really, really impactful when I did it for the first time. And I walk my clients through it now too. So take out a piece of paper, potentially multiple, and I want you to draw a timeline. And I want you to plot the last 5 years of your life. There's 4 categories that I want you to focus on plotting. Your personal growth milestones, your achievements and successes, your professional growth milestones, and any miscellaneous, noteworthy, or pivotal moments in your life that shaped you into who you are today. And you can color code, you can get as creative as you want, but what this is going to make you do and realize is who you are. Because we are, when someone says, "Who are you?" You're like, I am a content creator. I don't know. It's a big question there. That is a big one. It's a scary question, but this exercise helps you to reflect on who you are, because we are our experiences. We are the experiences we have lived. We are our values. We are the people we surround ourselves with. We are how we live our lives on a daily basis. So do this exercise. And if you need accountability or support around it, I'm going to do a secret group. Guys, I'm going to whisper because it's a secret. I'm going to start a secret group. And it's only going to be, I'm going to cap it at a certain number of people. But this secret group is going to be some of you OG listeners who want accountability and are truly jazzed up about the idea of stepping into this era. Okay, so if you want to join the secret group, comment secret group, and I'll loop you in, okay? If you got value out of today's episode, give it a like, share it with somebody you think could benefit, give it a review. That'll help get this message out there. I truly believe that so many people can benefit from living a more intentional life. So share the heck out of it with whoever you feel inclined to share it with. And I will see you in the next episode.